about file permissions, let's understand what are these file permissions and what is this UGO. You have seen this long listing, and when you see this long listing, the first column indicates two things. The absolute first character indicates what is the type of the file. If it is D, that means it's a directory. If it is hyphen, means it's a regular, normal, ordinary file. There are some device files also. Devices are treated as files in Linux. There are 9 more characters. So the format of those characters is RWX, RWX, RWX. And the first one is user, the other one is group, and the other is others. So basically for every file, what can you do? You can read the file, you can write, modify the content of the file, and you can execute the file. Every file has a owner. So you can see that this file A, the owner is Vikas. And every file has a group also. In my system, the group is named with the same username, but normally that will not be the case. Normally the group name can be IT, finance, HR, telecom, datacom. You can have groups in the organization. Okay. The first 3 bits, you can call them bits also because they are either on or not. So the first 3 bits, they are telling whether the user can read, write, or execute. The next 3 bits are telling whether the group, that means if you are belonging to this group, then can you read, write, or execute. And the last 3 bits are saying that if you are neither the user, because let's say this file is owned by Vikas and Ram comes to access it, then Ram is not Vikas, but Ram may belong to this group. If he belongs to this group, then these accesses apply to Ram. And if Ram doesn't belong to the group also, then what is indicated for others applies to Ram. I will demonstrate some privileges. I will just create a dummy file ABC. Chmod means change the mode, change the permissions. So right now, what is the permission? User has read write permissions. That means Vikas can read, can write, cannot execute. Group has again read write, cannot execute. Others can read, they cannot modify. So what I will do is I will take my read privilege. Chmod u minus r ABC. What I'm saying is from the user, subtract read privilege. Let me check the privilege. Now I don't have read privilege. This is the read bit. So I now cannot read. So if I say cat ABC, that is like reading the file. It says permission denied. Let me give me read permission, chmod u plus r ABC. And if I now do cat ABC, things are good. Now let me do away the write permission from ABC. So now if I open it in VI, you can see that it's a read-only stuff. Or if I do something else, let's say I say echo great world, write into ABC. Because this command is going to write into ABC, I should get permission denied. And I have got permission denied. I will tell something called shell script. You can create a shell script. You can say vi greet, just like that, a file. Echo hello, echo bye, echo nice. So now I have created this file greet. By default, it does not have execute permission. So right now, if I try to execute it, /greet, permission denied. So now let me add permissions. I will say add that permission. Because I added it in the path, I can write greet just like that also. So it executes. That's a shell script in its simplest form. Shell script is nothing but a sequence of command one after the other. Of course, it can be complex than that. It can have variables, it can have if then else, it can have for loops. For a file, we have seen read means you can read the file, write means you can write the file, execute means you can run the file. But what does permission mean for a directory? On a directory, what does read mean? Writing a directory, what does it mean? Executing a directory may not sound intuitive. What does execute mean? So let's experiment that. Let me create a directory dir1. Now dir1 has these permissions: read, write, execute for Vikas, read, write, execute for the group, and read and execute for the others. For directory, read means that you can see the contents. And what is the contents of a directory? Content of a directory is what are the files within it. So read means that you can do ls. Execute means that you can cd into the directory. Otherwise, directory is not a process, a program. Execute means that you can traverse into the directory, you can go there. And write means that you can modify the content. But what is the content of a directory? You can understand a directory as a listing of files. To modify the content means you can change the list of files. How do you change the list of files? By adding files, removing files, renaming files. So you can add, remove, rename files. So let's see that in action. Right now I have read permission in dir1. I can see ls dir1. Let me say remove the read permission for myself. Now if I do ls dir1, doesn't work because I don't have the read permission. I still have the write permission, so I can create a file within that. So I can say touch dir1 new file because I have the write permission. That works. So let me give back the permission. Now I can see the contents. I was able to touch dir1 new file. I was able to create this new file because I had write privilege. Let me do away that u minus w dir1. Now if I try to create a file, then I get permission denied. Let me just demonstrate the execute thing also. So right now I am able to do cd dir1. So that's the execute permission. If I, let's say, remove the execute permission, then I cannot do cd dir1. So basically R means you can do ls of the directory. W means you can change the list of files. That means you can add file, remove file, modify file name. X means you can cd into that directory or you can use it in a path. If you are giving a path like vi slash home slash ram slash x comma y comma z comma w, then I need execute permission for this directory X, execute permission for this directory Y, execute permission for this Z. Say I'm not doing vi, I'm doing ls. So I need execute permissions in this entire path. And because W directory, I want to see the contents. For W, I need both execute as well as read permissions.
If you have any questions or comments, please post in the comment box below.